In the red corner, the strong man of wrestling from Walthamstow, John the Bear Elijah. In the blue corner, just arrived in this country, the star of the Calgary Rodeo from Calgary. A big hand for Cowboy Smithy Hart.
Hello again, grapple fans. Good afternoon to you, and welcome once again to the Hexagon here at the Civic Centre in Reading. And we welcome you to the first bout of this afternoon's program, a heavyweight contest of 6 5-minute rounds, 2 falls to the side, between John Elijah of Walthamstow at 15-7 on the right there, using his left arm to good effect. The man in the dark red tights. And his opponent, for the first time we've ever seen in this country, Cowboy Smith Hart from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, at 17 stone 2. So I think that John Elijah is saddled with quite a competitor here. So 6 rounds of 5 minutes a round, 2 falls, 2 submissions or a knockout to decide this winner. And our referee for this this afternoon's program, Peter Zakash, formerly of Budapest, Hungary, but now, of course, naturalized British. Well, this is the first time, as I say, we've ever seen this this boy Smith Hart in this country, and at least as far as television is concerned. Trying a flying tackle too low down on John Elijah is highly dangerous, as I think you'll find. Follow down cross press, and Elijah the first fall as early as round 1, and only 2 minutes, 9 seconds gone of that first round. He really went in for that flying tackle far too low, and Smith Hart was in trouble from that moment. Your MC, John Dale.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 2 minutes, 29 seconds of round 2, the first fall in favor of John the Bear Elijah. Ladies and gentlemen, that should have been the first round.
Johnny Dale corrects himself beautifully, as always, if he ever has to, and gets a laugh from the crowd here. So as early as 2 minutes odd of round 1, Elijah, the first fall.
Second away, round 2.
Now, do that again, because I want to see something more of Cowboy Smith Hart from Calgary than Elijah's allowed him so far. He seemed to be... He's still got cowboy boots on. But I hope he doesn't try a flying tackle as low as he did last time, because he'll be in real trouble if he does. And it's Elijah going for the opposite arm lever plus grapevine. And Peter Zakash right up there checking, but no danger of submission from that. In fact, Smith Hart trying to reach down and get rid of the grapevine. He's got it. Nicely out by the boy, and gets a cross press and almost an equalizing fall from it. That's more like it. Yes, nice trip.
Roger. Come on, John.
And a figure four leg lock to Hart.
Roger. Come on, John. Elijah.
He really couldn't hold that figure four leg lock for too long, and he put his head far too far forward then. But at least he hasn't shown us any of his all-in wrestling rules that he's used to over in North America so far in this bout. Let's hope he doesn't start it later. So it's John Elijah now, the Walthamstow Bear, with a finger interlock on Smith Hart from Canada. Both being a little deliberate at the moment, coming in very slowly and deliberately, a little bit too much. And telegraphing the moves a bit at the moment, especially Hart.
1, 2, 3. Oops. North, no.
A full Nelson on Elijah. That's a thing that doesn't generally last too long. Let's see how long this lasts. He's got 2 minutes to make it pay. He held it for a few seconds anyway, Hart. But I don't think he'll be trying it again too often.
Sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1,
Nice head throws.
3, 4, 5.
And a body shot, 40 off balance.
3. Right up, Leslie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leslie. Come on, cowboy. No. What? No. Come on, sweet. No. Keep it in. No.
Well, a curious-looking double-handed toe hold by Elijah, which shouldn't really pay him off. He's got it so... I don't know how he even attempts to hold that for too long. 30 seconds he's got. No, he's no chance with it right from the start. And that gives the Canadian a little bit chance to come back with a single-leg Boston. Remember, he's trailing, so this could be the equalizer for him. 15 seconds he's got. 12, 10, 8, 6 seconds, 4. Too late. So let's have a look at the Canadian boy, Smith Hart. And he stays over here for a few months and leaves for Puerto Rico. His first time in the UK at all, even as a wrestler or not as a wrestler. He's been to Europe, Germany and Holland, but not here.
Seconds away, round 3.
The Canadian boy's father, incidentally, is a very, very famous wrestler. Father is Stu Hart, who is an Olympic wrestler way back in 1948 and owns one of the largest, if not the largest, gymnasium in Western Canada. It's known as the Foothills Athletic Club, which is very well known. So here's a product of that gym in the shape of his son, Smith Hart. I must admit that I've never heard the Christian name of Smith before, but it's okay, and he's a nice lad. I was talking to him in the dressing room before the bout this afternoon. Wears a cowboy hat as well as those cowboy boots out of the ring. And he's up against a pretty tough proposition in the shape of John Elijah, I'm afraid. He's such a strong man. That sort of crutch hold and body slam. What chance has anybody got against that sort of strength? And another.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Peter Zakash, the referee. And he's reaching for another one, but this time the boy goes for the same move. And that's what you call a real stalemate. And a follow down quick by Hart. He got in that time all right. There's the equalizer in just 1 minute 31 seconds of round 3. 1 fall each. Your master of ceremonies for this afternoon's program, the promoter from Dale Martin Promotions, John Dale.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute 31 seconds of the third round, a body slam, double knee press, equalizing fall, the cowboy Smithy Hart.
I think MC Johnny Dale knows him better than I do. He calls him Smithy. I haven't heard that one so far. His speciality, incidentally, is the bulldog, which is worked from a headlock, but I think we might see when I'll attempt at it later.
Second away, round up 4.
We've certainly not seen it so far, this bulldog speciality of Smith Hart, but let's hope he shows us what it's all about in the last 3 rounds of this bout. 1 fall each against John Elijah.
I switch it up.
The bear hug by Elijah. This time he's expected to follow it up, but he didn't. Went for the headbutt this time instead. So Elijah switched neatly there. Caught the Canadian quite unawares. I don't know whether this Canuck boy is just growing a beard or whether he just forgotten to shave today, but he's certainly got a stubble there.
No. That's it. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes, perfectly legal too.
3, 4, 5, 6. Right, John. 1,
Good uppercut.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Now a single leg Boston attempt by Elijah. Notice the way that the Canadian is countering this by grabbing the Elijah right leg and trying to prevent himself from going over, but he couldn't do it for long. There's the single leg Boston. And that's the way to get rid of one.
3, 4, 5.
1 fall each, remember, and these last 2 or 3 rounds here, just 2.5 rounds to go to decide which of these 2 big men will get the result here. It would be great for the Canadian boy in his first appearance on television in the UK to get a win, but I'm rather afraid that Elijah's experience will be brought to bear fairly soon here. There's the grapevine to turn in nicely.
No. All right, do it. No. Switch it. No. No. What? Come on, what? Right, switch. Come on. No, give it in. Come on.
He's getting advice from the crowd to bring his other... And quite successful. But not so easy as it must have looked to the lady at the ringside, the other side of the ring, who shouted at him to do it. I'm sure she didn't mean quite that, but he eventually followed her advice anyway and came off.
Nice, Vicky. Nice, Vicky, now. Come on now. Nice, Vicky.
There's that pull-on forearm smash to the jaw. Always effective with a man of Elijah's strength. Just a minute left in the fourth. Nice turn by Hart. But can he complete it? Is Elijah in trouble? He's got Elijah in real trouble here from this grapevine. Opposite arm lever from the other side. And a very neat move indeed by Hart. And Elijah's certainly not expecting that, and he doesn't know what to do to counter it. He's got rid of that first one, but he's... Oh, no, I'm afraid. Hadn't got it quite hard enough on there. And it's Elijah countering now with the backhammer. And the lean back held by the feet. Well, there's just about 12 seconds to go in the fourth. With Elijah's head underneath the bottom rope. Not too much applause from the crowd, not as much as they deserved, I would have said, especially the Canadian boy. But let's have a look at Elijah in close-up. The bear from Walthamstow. John Elijah, whose hobby is, I always try and get this right every time I say it, and it's very tricky. Paleontology, I think it is. Anyway, it's a study of evolution, and that's what he is.
Second way, round up 5.
I am told it's paleontologist, not, I put an extra syllable in there. 2 rounds to go, 1 fall each. And again, that Canadian switch there, it goes to the opposite leg on the grapevine. Very neat move. It almost worked for him on a submission in the end of the fourth round. And he starts it right at the beginning of round 5. But that's not his speciality, the bulldog which we're working from. He starts with a headlock. Well, was it or wasn't it? I don't know whether that was a punch or not, but the referee is certainly on the other side, so he doesn't either. So quickly when they change their hands from a fist to a flat of the hand position. Oh, great knee drop. Oh, what a knee drop. And he's picking up 17 stone 2 to do that. And in trouble now, Smith Hart. He's very much in trouble. And Elijah going for the backbreaker submission. Yes, he's submitted. He's submitted. And it's a submission to Elijah. So in 1 minute, 19 seconds of round 5, Elijah the winner by 1 fall and 1 submission over Smith Hart's 1 fall. But I think we'll see some more of this Canadian boy before he leaves for Puerto Rico in the ensuing weeks. John Dale.
Ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute, 19 seconds of round 5, a bear hug, the deciding fall, and the winner by 2 falls to 0, John the